Just 1 minute. Let me mute machine. Okay. So you can hear me? Good morning, Mren. So all of you can hear me? Okay, good morning, good morning. All right. So we can start. Okay. Now, my name is Ashok Kumar Harnal. I am professor at Fore School of Management. I have been teaching this subject for around last 5 or so years, and the plan for today's talk for this hour is something like this. I will first brief you about what this technology is about, how it operates, and what is so different about it insofar as statistics is concerned. Then I will talk about its applications, discuss few applications, these two together, that is, how the technology operates on the one hand, and as I explain the applications, will open you up to the possibilities that this technology has across various sectors in various industries, and why there is so much clamor for those big data skill professionals. Then I will briefly touch upon the market demand, and I will also discuss whether the opportunities for non-technical professionals. You are free to ask me any question anytime you like, or at the end, as you prefer. Lastly, if there is a time, I would like to give you a demonstration of image segmentation, a case of unsupervised learning, just to show you that learning big data can be fun, and if you have passion, it can be a little more fun. Okay. So first is about this technology. Now, big data is characterized by 3 V's: volume, variety, and velocity. Though over the time 1 or 2 V's more have been added, but we will stay with these 3 V's. You see, as the economies are being pushed towards being more and more digital, and corporations are showing their presence online, huge data is getting generated, huge content is getting generated, both online as also offline. Offline, the systems are heavily computerized, their manufacturing operations, their services, supply chains, logistics, and so on. Day by day, layers of data are getting collected. The biggest challenge is how to analyze this data. 100 megabytes may be at its lowest scale. Lowest level of this data may be in hundreds of megabytes. Generally, this may be hundreds of gigabytes, terabytes, or even petabytes. Traditional analytical tools like Excel or SPSS or other traditional tools that you may be familiar with require that if I have to analyze any data in a machine, that must first be pulled up in the RAM and then analyzed. Now, once the data is pulled up in the RAM and processed, then it is likely, very much likely, that temporary files are also generated in the process, and the size of those temporary files may sometimes be as large as the data itself. So this would mean that I would require RAM of hundreds of gigabytes. And Availability of such availability of RAM of this size is rare except with large corporations. So what to do? One solution that was thought of and that has been incorporated in this technology is you divide this data into chunk. Divide this data into chunk and spread it over the machines and analyze there. But easier said than done. Moment I divide the data into chunks, into pieces and spread it in a cluster of machines, then there are other problems. Problems like how do I coordinate the work? How do I direct other machines to do my tasks? How do I direct other machines to allocate resources to my task? So solution to all these problems and solving this problem of analysis in a cluster of machines over a cluster of machines has given birth to a new technology known as big data technology. Then next is the variety of data. With the coming of Web 2.0 and Internet becoming highly interactive, more and more content of various types are being pushed on the Internet. Today we have, for example, free-flowing text, which is the most common type we have. Then text is also semi-structured, as for example emails. Then we have audios, music for example. We have images, we have videos. Traditional analytical tools have never dealt with such range of types. Generally they have been dealing with numerical data and at the maximum structured text in 1 or 2 columns as in Excel. But analyzing only text, for example, or analyzing only images has not been their domain. This kind of, so a new technology has born, and in fact specialized fields have been created to deal with, for example, textual data, and those specialized field is, for example, is natural language processing. Then we have another field, another specialized field which has been given birth to image and video processing. So all these different specialized fields again come within the broad umbrella of big data technology. So this variety has again given birth to a new technology known as big data technology. That is another reason for this. The third is velocity of data. Data has always been in motion. Even earlier also, it was never static. Only that the rate of change has increased. We have stock market data. We have data from financial institutions, foreign exchange data, for example. Location-based data which is being generated by mobiles. Data on Twitter. Tweets are getting generated every moment. Data on social media. Now, traditional analytical tools have no way of analyzing data in motion. They are good in analyzing static data, but in no way they are able to analyze data in motion. This has given birth to a new technology of analyzing streaming data, or known as streaming data analytics. For example, as soon as a visitor comes on a web page, I must react to him. As soon as, for example, a visitor lands, I should be able to personalize the site for him. The complete business model of Uber is based on streaming data analytics. So again, there is a different specialized branch of streaming data analytics, and which comes in the it comes under the umbrella of big data technologies. Since there are many specialized compartments, for example, deep learning, natural language processing, then streaming data analytics, and accordingly, our course, which is the 6 months course, has also been structured accordingly as per the various technologies. You will find, if you have gone through the course syllabus, then you will find that there is a subject on machine learning algorithms, then there is a subject on natural language processing, deep learning, and there is a subject on analyzing data across the clusters, that is what is called Hadoop ecosystem. And we have also another subject of dealing with streaming data analytics using Kafka and other tools. Now, there is another factor that has been generating lots of data, and that are sensors. Today, sensors are there in almost every device. Camera has sensors, cars have sensors. Sensors technology is many, many years old. Earlier, there used to be, as all of you are aware, the oldest sensor is a circuit breaker. As soon as a large current is generated, circuit breaks. But what is unique about these sensors today is that not only they react to the signals, but they are able to converse with each other in a protocol that is internet protocols. There are special internet protocols designed for them so that one sensor can communicate with another one. And therefore today we have not only an internet of human beings, in which human beings communicate with one another using, for example, email protocols or video conferencing, but an internet of things in which the sensors communicate with one another. The complete foundation of smart cities is based upon this kind of communication between sensors. For example, in smart cities, if in a large building, multi-story building, garbage bin is full, a signal will go from a sensor to the garbage collector, and garbage collector will send a van to collect the garbage. Or if I am entering a smart city and I need a parking space, then wherever the parking slots are available, signals will travel to my vehicle, and then I can make a decision where to park my car. But this is mechanical communication from sensor to sensor. There is no smartness about it. The smartness comes from learning my behavior. The smartness comes when I given choices of parking space, I usually prefer only one parking slot. So smartness will come when a machine behind the sensors learns my preferences, and next time when I come, it keeps a slot vacant for me in that particular parking area and offers me a space there. That is the basis of smartness, and that is the basis of smart cities. And behind the scenes, it means somebody is learning behaviors of various persons, somebody is learning the behavior of various devices, and that is what improves the quality of life. Now, what is the difference between, I will now come upon the difference between the statistical processes. Okay. Yes, you are absolutely right. You see, you are that is what I mentioned. You see, that is exactly what I mentioned. The Internet of Things means That is what I mentioned, Salman. The Internet of Things means things are communicating using Internet protocol. Okay. So sensors are communicating with one another using Internet protocol. All right. So when when I enter a city, smart city, all right. So sensors on my car and sensors in the parking lot communicate with my car and inform me where all the parking spaces are vacant. The big data technology is a technology which is behind the sensors. It is learning my behavior. It is learning my behavior that given these choices, which space I am preferring. So the learning comes from big data technology. Okay. I will be speaking more about it in a short while. How this learning develops, I will be speaking just in a short while. Now, you have all studied statistics in your high school. I will answer that question, Sanjeev, at the end. I will answer that question. Okay. Just keep that. Now, or probably in early years in the college, you see, statistics can be divided into two parts. One is descriptive and one is inferential. Inferential means descriptive, all you know, that summarizing information, mean, median, mode. And inferential statistics is about collecting samples of data from population, studying the characteristics of sample, and from this inferring the characteristics of population from this, extending this observation, these characteristics to the population. That is, so I am here when I am extending my observation of the sample to the whole of population. I am actually not making any prediction. I am stating what is there at the current time. Population is having this kind of characteristics. But in big data technology, I make predictions about the future. And another thing about statistics is that my sample must be collected randomly. And since random collection is a costly business, and you must have observed during elections that even during countrywide elections, the channels make predictions based upon sample sizes of few thousands only, not more than that, because it's a very costly business to go and survey. So statistics generally deal with small data and random data. On the other hand, in big data, data is given to us. Historical data is already residing on servers. I have no choice. Take it or leave it. That is one. And secondly, while in the statistics we are dealing with data sizes of thousands, on the other hand, in big data technology, we are dealing with data sizes which may be millions of rows, billions of observations. Then, in statistics, only I am inferring what is the current status of the population from the sample, but in big data technology, I am making a prediction about the future. So these are three main differences between these two. Now let me come on the subject, how these predictions are made, how the technology operates. Consider this very mundane data of weather and golf. Weather on the one hand, there are 4 attributes regarding weather: outlook, temperature, humidity and windy. And the last column is whether golf was played or not played. These 4 columns, the weather columns, are known as predictors, and the last column is known as target, which is the column I would like to make prediction about. Given a particular weather conditions, I would like to know whether golf will be played or not played. Now I should be having some example data beforehand or historical data beforehand of weather conditions and whether in those weather conditions golf was played or not played. Please note that this data that I am having is not numerical, it is all textual data. Now, what happens in machine learning or big data technology as it is called is that I go over this historical data again and again and find patterns. Find patterns, for example, when outlook is rainy, temperature is hot, humidity is high, windy is false, then in 80% of cases there was no play and in 20% of cases there was play. So iterating over and again over this data, the machine learning algorithm finds some patterns and then gives me a model of those patterns that given these patterns there is 70% likelihood that golf will be played and there is 30% likelihood that golf will be not played. So this is my model now and having this model now I can now feed a data of weather conditions for which I want to make prediction. As for example the last column, when the outlook is sunny, temperature is mild, humidity is high and windy is true, when I feed it into the model it tells me that what is the likelihood of golf being played or not played. Okay. So again please note that the algorithm never tells me definitely anything. It also tells me in a probabilistic sense. Okay. So now the real data may be having hundreds of columns, hundreds of attributes, and there may be millions of observations. When number of attributes are so large and when their number of observations are so large, then there may be many ways to find the patterns. There may be many ways to find the patterns, and therefore we have, and that is the reason we have a lot of algorithms vying with one another to make correct prediction. There is one algorithm which has one way to learn the pattern. There is another algorithm which has another way to learn the pattern. And then, so that is the reason why in big data science we have many algorithms. Some algorithms may be suited for some kind of data. Another set of algorithms may be suited for another set of data. The whole technology revolves upon learning these algorithms, playing with the parameters of these algorithms and making a correct prediction. That is the centerpiece of big data technology. Now, this kind of learning which I talked about is known as supervised learning. Because in the historical data, I was already given some target value and then my pattern finding algorithm learned to find out certain patterns and match them with target values. There is another kind of learning which is known as unsupervised learning. I give no hints to the algorithm. And I tell it, can you group, for example in this data, can you group customers? Can you find out some customers who are close to one another, whose behavior is close to one another, and can you find out another set of customers whose behavior is far away from this earlier set? The algorithm goes over the data, iterates over the data, and hands me over clusters of customers. Given these clusters, my job is to study why is it the algorithm has divided these customers into clusters. Can I interpret this differentiation? If I can interpret this differentiation, then maybe I would like to use it and give each of these groups different treatments as per my marketing demands. Or if I cannot interpret the differences, I will ask the algorithm, or I will take another algorithm to again cluster it. Okay. Now, there is something else about this clustering. The algorithm may run for some time and hand you over the clusters which are interpretable and about which I never thought of. That this kind of grouping can also be done. This is so, which means that I am discovering a new kinds of group, and therefore the machine is telling. So this is what was called discovery of knowledge. Machine has handed over me clusters about which I was not aware and which I could interpret. So the machine learning can also give me new vistas of knowledge, something about which I was never aware, and this is known as unsupervised learning. Yes, I can share. No problem. Now, there is a third kind of tasks that these big data algorithms handle. And now the question is to you. You see, all of you must be aware of recommender engines. That as soon as you land, for example, on an Amazon site, it recommends certain products to you. Okay, what is the basis of that recommendation? Or Netflix would recommend some movies to you. What is the basis of the recommendation? How does it mean? Now, for example, here I am showing 4 users, Ashok, Amit, Kavita and Kali, and they have seen some movies, No Entry, Gunde, Boss, Jai Ho, Krish and Dil. And they have also rated some movies. Ashok has rated No Entry 5 in a scale of 1 to 5, Gunde 2, Boss 2, and Amit has also rated some movies, Kavita has also rated some movies, and Kali has also. Ashok locks in, and he has not seen Jai Ho, Krish and Dil. Please tell me which movie should be recommended for Ashok. No, Jai Ho and Dil. That is what Akhil says. Jai Ho and Dil should be recommended for Ashok. Jai Ho. Anybody else? I would like to know the reason also if you make a guess. Dil. That is the difference. Okay, no, it is like this. The engine would recommend Krish 3. Abhay, you have made all the guesses. Okay, Krish 3. Why Krish 3? Why Krish 3? Okay, I will answer it. Rating. No. Answer is this. The answer is this. It finds those users who have similar preference. No. It finds those users who have similar preference to Ashok. Please note now, Ashok has rated No Entry 5, Kavita has rated 5, Ashok has rated Gunde as 2, Kavita has rated as 2, Ashok has rated Boss as 2, and Kavita has rated as 2. So both preferences are similar. And among the rest of the movies, Kavita has rated Krish 3 as the highest. So accordingly, Ashok would be recommended Krish 3. Does it sound to common sense? Does it appeal to common sense? Yes or no? Exactly. So finding out similar users, finding out similar products is another job of machine learning. And that is okay. So this is the very foundation of e-commerce, the e-commerce portals selling a majority of its products. Netflix, for example, 66% of movies watched are recommended. So also Google News. Again, the recommendation, it has a recommendation engine. So also Amazon and other portals. All right. Now let me tell you, given this brief background of how the technology operates, let me give you some practical examples some real examples. One is, and you will find that these are very innovative, the way they have been done. Okay, for example, Africa's soil property prediction, and they are from various domains: soil sciences, advertising, marketing, pharmaceuticals, environment. Okay, Africa is a very large continent, and exactly. Africa is a very large continent, and it is important that I know the places where crops can be grown and sustained. Now, the normal way of finding out the soil properties is like this. I go to a place, collect the soil samples, come back to the lab, and then find which soil properties does that soil has, and the properties of interest are these: its phosphorus content, its calcium content, its sand content, whether it will retain water or not, its acidic value, its acidic strength. So there are 5 of these which are of interest. Now, since collection of soil samples from village to village can be very time consuming and it will be heavy on resources, so an innovative way has been thought out. The way is this: on a region in Africa, infrared rays are shown are broadcasted from satellite. As infrared strike the ground and get reflected, they get absorbed in various strengths. Just 1 minute. Sharing is disturbed. Please hold on. I'll just 1 minute. Just please hold on. So they get absorbed in various strengths across frequency bands. Different frequency band, different absorption strength. Now, as these rays get reflected, they are again collected back in the satellite, and the amount of absorption across frequency band is measured. First, these rays are shown on that area for which I had already collected soil samples in the past, and I already know its composition. So I have a database consisting of the absorption across frequency bands and the properties of soil samples. So I have a database of predictors, that is these absorption across frequency bands, and then the target values, something like this. Something like this. These are the absorption against various frequency bands. There are 4,000 of them, and these are the targets. Please note one thing in this. Unlike in the golf example, where there was only one target of whether golf has been paid or not, in this case there are 5 targets: calcium content, phosphorus, pH value, sand content, and carbon content. Then I run my pattern finding algorithm over this again and again, and it hands me over certain patterns. Given these patterns of absorption, the phosphorus content would be this, carbon content would be this, and so on. For those soils now, for which I don't have this data, I shine the infrared rays, get the absorption levels, feed them into this model, and get the values of soil properties. Make a prediction of these soil properties. So that is how now it is being done. That is example number 1. It is called predictive analytics. Consider now this example from the marketing domain, advertising domain. Avazo is a leading demand side platform. A demand side platform is one where advertisers who are demanding web spaces come and bid for web space, available web space. They come with their requirement, with the advertisement they would like to display, and they also come with the requirement on what are the web pages they would like to display. And as soon as those kinds of web pages appear, they make a bid for it, and the highest bidder has a right to place an advertisement on it. So there is a demand side platform where advertisements come with the demands for advertisements, placing advertisements. Then there is a supply side platform. Web publishers or media spaces come on the supply side platform to offer their web spaces. These are my web spaces, and I would like to place an advertisement on this. So there is, on the one hand, there is an inventory of web spaces. On the other hand, there is an inventory of advertisements. Both of these meet in the ad exchanges. Both of these meet in the ad exchanges. In an ad exchange, a web space is put, information about a web space being available is put, and then advertisers on the demand side platform make a bid for it. The time to place bid is in milliseconds, maximum 30 milliseconds. The process goes on something like this. I search for a term in Google and links appear. I click on a link, and between the time to click a link and the time that page appears, information about that page goes to the ad exchange where a bidding is made and the advertisement is accordingly displayed. The basis of bidding must be the likelihood that that banner will be clicked. The higher the probability that banner will be clicked, the advertisement will be clicked, the more the cost involved. But higher will be my bid. Higher will be my bid. So in that short time, how does a machine assess the probability of it being clicked and accordingly decides what bid to make? This is the problem in the machine learning. So Avazo released 10 days of its data. That was around 6 GB of its data, past historical data. The data was something like this. You will find it's a very mundane data. Nothing very special about it. Nothing very special about it. The data is, for example, about the web space. What is its domain name? What is the domain name of the site? What is the content? What kind of content it is having? What is its geographical location? Its language? What browser it is using? What smartphone device it is using? So these are the mundane data. And then, since it is the historical data, Avazo also released whether the advertisement was clicked or not clicked. Then the banner position of advertisement on the mobile, top, bottom, left and right. So these data were there. And then finally, in the target they gave whether the banner was clicked or not clicked. Now I build a model. Given these predictors, browser information, smart device ID, domain name, language of page, and so on, and finally ad was clicked or not, I build a model. Next time a web space comes with information, I can use this model to make a prediction of likelihood that this ad will be clicked, and accordingly decides the cost and my level of bid. So that is another area. Advertising is another area. Consider now another problem which Walmart posed on the internet about 3 years back. Walmart released around 20 GB of its data, customers' data on the internet. All data was anonymized, transactions data. The problem they were interested in solving was this. Suppose for a bottle of water, suppose for a bottle of water, they have given discount coupons to around 100 persons. Okay. And out of those 100 persons who have been given discount coupons, 60 of them come back and purchase the bottles of water. That is, 60 of them have discounted the coupon and purchased the bottle of water. Walmart wanted to know that out of those 60, how many will be repeat buyers. So for this, again they released the transaction data as I mentioned for the last 2 years of their customers, and also they released that in these 2 years period, what discount coupons were given on various products to which users, and which of those users came back and purchased the products, and how many of them have become repeat purchasers. So given this information, we were to build a model to make a prediction for a future, that if in future they gave a discount coupon, which of the customers would be repeat purchasers or not. So again, this is a problem in predictive analytics, as I mentioned, problem something similar of which I have talked about earlier. Consider now a problem from pharmaceutical domain, a totally different domain. Can I use machine learning to make a formula drug? The problem here is, can I use machine learning to make a formula drug? The answer is yes. The answer is yes, and it is used as for example, this German firm wants to use it. Okay, I am coming to that. Brenda. I am coming to that. I'm just coming to that. You see, in US there is in US, for example, there is a big data shops in every street you will find. There are huge consultancies. Just please hold on. I am coming to that. First, let me open you up to the opportunities, and then I will come. Now, the problem is something like this. In the past, each one of these pharmaceutical firms have experimented with the number of drugs, and for each of these drugs, they know that what molecular formula they have used. So, a particular drug, and then these are the molecules that have been used, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then at the end of it, they also know whether the drug was successful or not, whether it was patients responded to it or not. So now I have a data of various molecules used in various drugs, and then I have a data that to which formula they responded and to which formula they not responded. I build a model, I build a predictive analytics model, find out certain patterns, and now I want to build a drug with these particular molecular formulas, with these particular molecular configurations. I feed it into the model, and it tells me with the probability that there is this much probability that the drug would be responsive, patients would respond to it or not. So these are the, so given this, so what all is required? What all is required is data set with predictors and targets. And these kinds of data sets are not unique to any particular industry. They are not unique to any particular industry, and that is the reason big data is in demand across various sectors in economy, across various industries, even fields like psychology, sociology, and archaeology, for example. You may like to wonder why archaeology is something we are dealing with, something with ancient. So what do we have to make prediction here? What predictions are left to be made in archaeology? See, archaeologists use big data technology again to make predictions something like this. They have found out a site, some ancient site, ancient culture, and they have found out something unique about those cultures, what kind of pottery they used, what kind of tools they used, and then they have also some geographical location particulars, some rock structures. Okay, so they have a database of particular rock structures, culture, pottery they have used, and they know that this kind of civilization lived in this much, so many years. Now they try to build a model and find out whether this kind of whether such civilization could be found out elsewhere in the world. So the prediction is regarding finding out similar civilization in any other places in the world. So that is a kind of that is the reason that is how the archaeologists use big data technology to make predictions about the sites that may be having similar culture. So that is my that is the so I have given you a brief about how the technology operates, and I have also given you given you some examples of how it can be used in various how it is used in various industries, and how it can be useful across the various sectors. Now I will come to what I have some other examples also, but I think by now you have a fair idea of where all it can be used. Or do you like me to continue more with the examples? Or shall I talk about now? Okay, examples. I will like to I have time. I have time. There is no problem about time. Okay. Okay, I will give you facial recognition. All right. Let me come to this facial recognition related. Okay, and then we will finish. Okay, I will talk to you about this. You see, this data set of around 4,000 facial images was released on a site with the intention to make predictions of faces of like this. You see, suppose the technology operates like this. The data was like this. Given a face, I was given points. I was given points. There are two kinds of. You see, in the technology operates something like this. A face is a layer of is a row of pixels one by one. A face is a row of pixels one by one. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, in predictive analytics, we have one observation of weather data and a target whether golf will be played or not played. All right. So this face must be transformed into one row of data. The face must be transformed in one row of data. So how it is done is that we have one row of pixels, then the second row of pixel is put now on the side of alongside first row, then third row of pixel alongside first two rows. So all rows, all pixel rows one by one are lined up in one row only. All pixels, that is, suppose it is 40 by, suppose it is the face is 96 by 96 pixels, 96 height and 96 width. So we have now 96 rows of pixels, 96 rows of pixels. So all these 96 rows of pixels are put in one row only, side by side, one alongside the other. And then the predictors are like this. For each face, some measurements have been given. The measurement that have been given is, for example, what is my left corner of left eye? How much from here? What is my center point of my left eye from here? Measured from here. Then right corner of my left eye, of right eye, left corner, right eye center, right eye right corner. Then my nose tip, my mouth left corner, my mouth middle right, my chin, and so on. So now here the data that I have is a complete row of pixels, 96 into 96, and then I have the target values are my these distances from the left edge of various points in the face. So I have 4,000 faces. So which means I have 4,000 rows of data and then these target values. uh, let me see if I have got something like this. Something like this. Please see this. These are the pixels of phase 1. 96, there will be 96 into 96 or say 100 into 100 pixels all in one row. Then these are distances from the left edge, nose tip, left eye center, mouth center, and so on. So I have on the right side predictors, targets, and on the left side predictors. I have to build a pattern. I have to build a pattern now that given this phase, can I say that where would his nose tip would be, where would his left eye center would be, where would his mouth center would be. Okay. So what is the use of this information? The question is, suppose even if I build a pattern and I am able to predict, what is the use of this information? The use of information is something like this. I have a passport, for example. On which my photograph is there, on which my photograph is there, but this passport is not genuine. This passport is not genuine. The other details mentioned in the passport are not my own, but somebody else's. Face is mine, but other details are not my own. Okay. Now, at the airport, the photograph is scanned, and it is sent to a central database. Now, what is sent to a central database is not the photograph. What is sent to the central database is this information of nose tip, left eye center location, and mouth center. This information. Now, no two persons in the world, while it is possible that nose tip may be the same for two persons, location and nose tip may be the same, location and left eye center may be the same, but for no two persons in the world, all these parameters would be the same. Not possible. Just like a fingerprint information. So as soon as information reaches the database, only the textual, what I am sending to the database is just textual information of location on nose tip, left eye center, and mouth center, and so on. The textual information can be communicated very easily. At the database, it can be found out that this kind of face does not belong to the person who has sent this information. This kind of face, for example, belongs to a criminal. It can be so. This is a sort of a face recognition algorithm. Okay. Now I will come to job opportunities in big data. I'm sure you must be aware of it. I need not talk about it. I'm sure all of you must have seen all this before you are coming here. For example, I will click a site, Naukri.com, isn't it? Naukri.com. There are around 6,000 demands today. You must have seen it. Naukri.com. Just I will show you. So here, for example, apply to 6,295 big data jobs. Practically, there is a flood of jobs. So where this sector is concerned, and somebody was mentioning about internationally also. So this is the place. Now let us come to that point. Okay. Now let us come to Gaurav's point, which is important. Programming skills to go for this program. Yes. Now you see, nowadays learning languages is very easy. The languages have been made so that even a person who has never learned any language can learn them. It is just like, suppose from here, if I have to go to IIT Delhi, then somebody can direct me, go left, go right, okay, go straight, something like this. So languages are as easy to learn. That is number one. Number two, you will find that we do not need that much deep knowledge of programming skills. We do not need that much. Many of the operations you will be doing repeatedly. In the machine learning, it is a collection of knowing of techniques, algorithms, and many of the operations you will be doing will be repeating again and again. So It is not that one needs a deeper programming knowledge. So whatever programming skills are needed, if you have a science background or if you have a inclination to learn a language, in our program we cover that, because in our program we have persons both from non-technical background as also from technical backgrounds. Yes, you see, let me give you one, Sagar, it is like this. It's like this. Do you know I learned Linux from whom? I learned Linux from a person who was BCom. Something which is unbelievable. So all that you need, all that one needs is an inclination to learn programming, and it is not difficult at all. Yes, you will get a okay. Does it satisfy you? Sagar, I will answer your question, Bhavna. Just 1 minute. Does it satisfy you? And insofar as the certificate is concerned, you get a certificate from University of California. We have a collaboration with them. There is a course, a part of the course is also being covered by them. So certificate is of University of California and Fore School of Management both. Fees, I think the Tech Mahindra person. Sagar, I will answer Sagar's question again. Sagar, I will come back to your question again of non-technical person. You see, now this subject is being taught not only in engineering, analytics. And just please hold on to your questions. Let me first answer Sagar once more. This course subject of analytics is being taught not only in engineering but also in many management colleges now. And in management colleges, you know that there are students both from science background, from non-science backgrounds also. Okay. So it is nothing that one has to only have programming skills and then learn this language, but learn big data. Nothing like that. Okay. Now coming now to the joint certification, it is a joint certification of UCR and Fore School. Coming to Mark's question, how much can you expect? Now let me answer one by one. How much can you expect? You see, you can expect around 10 lakh a year, around that. That much is the salary. That much is the expectation. No, Brinda, now coming now to classroom, let me answer Ranjit Das question, classroom coaching. We do not have a classroom coaching provision, okay, but we do have tutorials. We have tutorials, okay. So we teach in class and generally we satisfy each participant. Generally you will find that we satisfy each participant, and if anything is still not understood, we have tutorials to cover it, okay. Now coming to Brinda's question, ECE background, you see I just mentioned that this technology cuts across disciplines. It cuts, you can do innovation in every field. In every field you can do innovation. So there is no problem as to the background. We have people from engineering, we have people from accounts background, we have people from finance background. So absolutely that is not a limitation at all. Now I will come to your question. There was a student with us till recently, and he has joined Capgemini, and he was very much passionate about this course. And as I used to take the course, regular course, he used to just come and sit. He was not a participant here. He was not a regular participant, but since he was a student of our college, so I allowed him to come and sit in the course. This gentleman, this student, he left last year and is now employed in Capgemini, He has around 10 to 15 IIT students under him, and his product has won NESCOM award in machine learning. So that much, and that is it. So it all depends upon, you see, so it depends upon two things. One, how we teach, okay, and second, how much passion you put into it. Okay, so that is what is it. And this person was a beginner. The details about the course, about the program, are on the Tech Mahindra website. Yes, Bhavana, I mentioned this whole program cuts across all disciplines. Do not worry at all about that. You will get a job easily. About that, there is no problem. Sanjeev, yes, it is meant for those who are in, you see, in our program, we have number of executives, so there is no problem at all. And that is why it is, our sessions are on Saturday and Sunday. That is the reason. And it will help you really, you see, first of all, since you are in a senior position, just please hold on your questions. Let me answer one by one. Please hold on, please hold on. I will answer Sanjeev's question first. Okay, just please hold on. So Sanjeev, I answered your question so far as online stream is concerned. Okay, our number of participants are executives. That is one, and it will really help you. I will answer in two ways. First of all, I will give a very general answer. Knowledge is always useful. The very general answer. The second thing is that this technology is coming up very fast. Today or tomorrow it will catch you up. Today, whoever comes for recruitment in our management college demands that students should be having some analytical skills. That is the one condition they are placing. So that is why this course we are now teaching to all our students, a number of our students we are teaching, and therefore it's certain that you will find this course very useful in future. And you can, once you learn, you can also, third thing is you can do a number of innovations. Once you know about how the technology operates, you can yourself introduce it in your organization. Okay, that, I suppose that answers your question. Now let me come to okay, Gaurav, so I would strongly suggest you do in big data, you take this course, but do not leave your present job. Go on your doing present job and do our course and then decide for yourself. Okay. The abroad opportunities are many. You see, abroad opportunities, especially in USA, are many. Sagar, you have to talk to Tech Mahindra, they will guide you. Okay. No, Sanjeev, there is a difference between what Harvard teaches you and what we teach you. You see, Harvard teaches you from not from the practical, there from management point of view. We will be teaching how the technology can be implemented. Our whole focus is on project-based implementation. Taking up projects, our focus is like this: teaching techniques, implementing projects, and assessing results, evaluating results. That is our focus. Okay, so it is different from what you must have learned from Harvard. So it is a totally an interactive program, No, this is Ranjit, we have a course, the regular course plus online tutorials. This is not an online tutorial. This is a regular course, and then we have plus for students who still want to learn more, online tutorials. It is like this. Okay, it's not simply online tutorial. Placement assistance, Gaurav, we are not providing. But we have an entrepreneurship development program. I will just talk to you about it. You see, we do have, Sanjeev, this may be of interest to you also and other students. We have an entrepreneurship development program. Just I will show you. I think, I don't know whether all of you have seen our syllabus. This program is like this. At the end of this program, you see we have a server, 64 GB server. We have a 64 GB server, and at the end of this program, anybody who likes to have a startup, we are offering our server to him for 2 years, free of any charges. Anybody who wants to have a startup, we are offering our server to him, 64 GB server, fully configured, fully loaded with tools and technologies, fully loaded with all the tools, especially R and Python. Okay, and you are free to use it from anywhere in the world for your commercial ventures for 2 years, free of charge. So we do not offer any placement assistance, but we do offer this facility, which can be useful to some of you. Yes, it's a cloud server. Yes. This is 6 months generally. It may extend a little bit. You see, our main objective is the students must understand. So 6 months it takes. Certificate copy, no, you have to trust us. There is a certificate from UCR. Okay. So do not worry about that. Not at all. Absolutely not. Okay. Timings are 10:30 to 1:30 on Saturday, Sunday. No, it is an online program. It's an online program. You can attend it from your home, interactive but online. You see, just as I'm talking to you. So what generally I do is I work. I'll just show you. I'll just show you. Yes, very much, Surendra. I gave you marketing ad examples of Walmart and this Abazu. So you see, I work here on a laptop like this. I write something, execute something, okay, execute something, okay. At your end, you are also executing. Absolutely correct. Yes, that is true. But then, but if by chance you are not available, then you can look at the archives. Archives are also available. Both ways. You see, the thing is this. We are serious about our program, and we want our students also to develop skills so that they can stand on their own. And we give exercises. Okay, we give exercises. Whether you come to the class or whether you look at the archives, exercises must be done. There is a big stress on exercises and project work. So unless you do it practically, you do not learn. It is not a theory program, not a program in theory. It is a program in practicals. You have to execute You have to make predictions and then show it to us. So how you do it, whether you come or not come, that is up to you. Yes, I just answered. Weekly assignments are there. No? I will show you the weekly assignment which our past students have done. Just I will show you. Just hold on. You see, this gentleman has won a competition. Imran, he is from Saudi Arabia. He won a competition recently. Okay, and this Bhavesh is our current batch student. I'll just show you the exercise that our students are doing. Just hold on. So we are serious about exercises and projects. About that, there is no laxity. Absolutely not. So there are various students who have done our exercises, and I give them stars from across the. They are from across the world. Okay. Brinda, it will be very useful to you. Extremely useful to you. Okay. That will be guiding you. All software is free, open source, will be guiding you. About that, please do not worry. Whatever software is needed, that will give you. Licensed. Okay. Brinda, timings are 10:30 on Saturday and Sunday. Timings are 10:30 to 1:30, Saturday and Sunday only. There is no evening course. There is nothing like we do not. We have only on Saturdays and Sundays. No, languages are only two, R and Python. The techniques are many. Languages are two. PC requirement 4 GB RAM minimum, but nowadays 8 GB is quite common. Okay, nowadays 8 GB is quite common, so the more RAM you have, the better it is. Alright. Software, of course, Windows or Linux, whatever you are having, no problem. About fees, I think the Tech Mahindra officers will guide you. Gagan. Okay. Software will be providing. You see, the software is open source. So I will be guiding you, but software is needed. And no costs are involved in so far softwares are involved. Okay. All right then. Thank you so much. Goodbye. And I hope to see you all. Thank you.